Hello everyone, my name is Rency and today we will learn about our topics. So let's we start. Remind yourself of the times you didn't live up to your values and think about how you can avoid that in the future. But this doesn't mean we should be pushovers. What if someone confronts us with bad behavior? How do we respond? I like how my mother always approaches people, whatever that's at work, the doctor's office, or in a store, film and politil. She's assertive and say what she thinks, but at the same time she doesn't put up with bullshit. It's a difficult approach because most people behave extremely. Whatever it's extremely nice, but when you want to avoid confirmation at all cost or extremely aggressive when it become as a flat out rule. So somewhere in the middle is the sweet spot. It's a place that requires self-awareness. If you behave badly, you have the ability to be aware of that and correct yourself. It's a great way to go through your life. On the true value or of friendship. Over the last few months, I've been hearing a lot about this new social media app, like a Clubhouse. It's an app that connect people who want to talk about all kinds of subjects. I tried it last month, and I really don't get why people prefer talking to strangers when they could use that time to call their friend, siblings, mother, father, or anyone else who's close to them. Those meaningless conversation on social media will not be there for you when you struggle or feel lonely. Those people are probably also not your real friends. It reminds me of all the empty friendship I've had in the past. In college, my friends were the guys I went to bars with, and after that, my friends were the people I spent my weekends with. And when I worked at a corporation, it was a folks I went to TGIF drinks with, but those people were not my real friends. Here's now, senses are described superficial relationship. There are what people call friendship of convention. A man adopted from self-interest will please only as long as he is useful. This is why a crowd of friends surrounds men in times of success, but there is a desert around their reign, and friends flee when they are put to the rest. The first time I realized some friends are not actually your friend and was when I went to grade school. At some point, I got tired of the weekly partying and got serious about my education and personal development. I preferred to study or have conversation about life with my friends, but some of my friends back then were not interested in that. So gradually, we grew up apart when our common interest, partying, disappeared. I initially thought that was sad. We spent so much time together and had so many good times, and now we never see each other. That's the nature of life. Through reading the Stoic, I learned that we must accept the change that comes with life. Season change, people change, and youth change. There is nothing wrong with that, but we need to be okay with that. But sometimes you grow together. 10 years ago, I become friends with Quincy, and at the time we were both in our early 20s and liked to go out. We were a part of a group of 6 guys who hang out together a lot. We talk every day and saw each other every Saturday night. We often meet up at my apartment and would spend the whole evening and night just having fun. Sometimes we went out, sometimes we stay at the apartment. Eventually, the other guys went their own way, but Quincy and I remained friends. We always had the most in common. We have gone in a different direction in our lives as well, but we always supported each other and wanted to see the other succeed and be happy. To me, that's what real friendship is about. Seek out people who have the same value as you. Friendship is not about quantity. Three friends are enough to spend your time with. As Sensisa said, most people will not be your friend when they are put to the test. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun with a co-worker or fellow students. Looking back, I still have a lot of good memories. It's just that most friends come and go, which is not a reason to get sad. I prefer to deep with people and really care about the few friends I have. That's the true value of friendship. Not someone you can call to ask for help with movie, or someone to go partying with. And no friend is someone see or need each other. And whenever you do need each other, you are always there. On being gentle in your intersections. What triggers you? I can be very impatient, which is the not stoic at all. I especially get triggered when I have wait somewhere. Doesn't matter whatever is it's in a traffic or the line at the supermarket. Come on, really? Can this line move any slower? Somehow I have a talent for picking a line that moves the slowest. That shouldn't be a big deal because waiting an extra minute isn't the end of the world. But if you are impatient, it feels like the biggest issue in the world at the moment. Impatience makes us treat other poorly, and for some weird reason, we often behave the worst toward the people we care about the most. One thing that has helped me to become more patient is an idea I pick up from Epictetus. Uh, he said, "Always, always conduct yourself as thought you are at a formal dinner. If the dish has not reached you yet, don't be impatient. Wait your turn. When it comes around to you, reach out and take a modest amount." I love this idea of imagining you are at a formal dinner, especially with people you know. You might be hungry and in a hurry to eat. But if you are surrounded by acquaintance, you all been on your best behavior. It's a gentle and restrained way of interesting with others, but also with yourself. That's something we often forget when we are triggered, and we don't only lash out at others, we also treat ourselves badly. The key is to be more gentle in our inner conversation as well. Epictetus believed we also should be gentle with our wealth. How does that work? Be modest, that's all. If your wealth decrease, don't try to cheese his back. But that's one of the key strategies of living a peaceful life. Never chase anything too hard. It's fine to want money, status, love, respect. To some degree, we all want to have those things in our lives, and there is nothing wrong with waiting them. But once these outcomes become our primary goal, everything will be goes smooth. Sensisa was a wealthy and respectable character in ancient Rome for most of his life, and the Stoic didn't necessarily despise wealth. They simply could do it with or without it. This mindset made a profound impact on the way I live. I remember chasing yourself and chasing everything I wanted in life: money, jobs, degrees, friends, lovers. But once I stopped, things come to me more naturally. And if things don't come to me, so what? I don't need much to be happy. Let me ask you this: would you rather be rich or poor? Okay, that's an unfair question. Everyone prefers to be rich, but the Stoic didn't mind being poor either. Sounds weird, but it's true. When you adopt this mindset, you stop chasing your things in life. What you will find is that when you aspire to improve yourself, your relationship, and your skills, the things you want will come to you. That's exactly like being at a formal dinner. You wait your turn, be on your best behavior, and the food will be served. Be gentle in your intersections and with others and with yourself. Don't push yourself to go after your career goals too hard. Avoid thinking you are behind on anything. Stop being in a rush, and if you are acting gently, that way you will be untitled to dine with the goods. As Epictetus beautifully said on eradicating envy. One of the good things about the pandemic was that we quickly got used to being on your own, and it was a forced exercise in self-reliance. When you spend most of your time at home, often the result is that you look at what you want to get out of your days. It's a good way to live because you are focusing on what you control. But as more and more things go back to normal, we started to look outwardly again. And when we do that, we automatically start comparing ourselves to others, and then envy creeps into your system. When that happens, we start making stupid decisions. We do things that are out of character. We waste our energy looking at the lives of others, and worst, we think out our lives stuck compared to others. Don't be fooled by the outward appearance of their people and or of other people. When people show off their success, possessions, and luxurious holidays and prestige, they are masking something. When you look at what something is sharing on social media, you always have to remember that you are seeing a curated version of what they want to share. Epictetus said it best: people with more prestige, power, or some other destination are not necessarily happier because of what they have. There is no reason to be envious or jealous of anymore. Jealousy is one of the biggest problem in our careers as well, and it's true. For example, a lot of writers compare themselves to other. They look at external factors like someone's followers, like likes for people they are friends with. Uh, this is nonsense. Why should we compare ourselves with others? It's a losing game because there is always someone better than you. If you have 1 million readers, there are always someone with 2 million and someone else with 10 millions. Another reason for jealousy is when we see certain people hanging out with each other. We want to be a part of their club, and but when you see people name dropping and spending time with certain people, understand that they may be in shock. They measure themselves by the people who they spend time with. Let me give you an example of how this works in the music industry. When young artists are coming up, they are always concerned with getting co-signed by established artists, and they want to attach their image to someone who's successful. One of my favorite rappers, J. Cole, did this when he started. He signed with Jay-Z's record label and had a lot of other famous artists on his first album. But as he came into his own an artist, he let all of that go. His latest three albums have zero features. It's all him, and he's still one of the most successful rappers in recent history. But the problem is that most artists never establish their own identity. They always need that cosign. They want to get close to other successful people because they feel like they are not good enough, and it seems like that's the more important than their music. But as Epictetus says, we should only focus on our freedom. Our concern should be our freedom, not titles and prestigious positions. The way to freedom is not to be too concerned about things we don't control. Every time you feel envious, check your portfolio and take envy as a sign to adjust your perspective. And look, it happens to all of us. I'm someone who dislikes social media, but there are times I get caught looking at fancy mansions and a luxurious vacation. When that happens, I look at my own house and it suddenly doesn't seem good enough compared to an 8 bedroom villa with a sea view. And so I take this as a sign to practice stoicism. I go within myself again and focus on what I control. As you can see from these letters, that's always the answer. Whatever the problems is jealousy or overthinking, We can always find the solution within ourselves. And before I end this letter, I want to share this. It's a good thing to be satisfied with your life, and a way that is it. I know that the grass is always greener, but if you are healthy and you have got a few people who care about it, life ain't so bad. Or not caring about what people think. The way I see it, you have two options for going about the way you like. You can fit in talking the path that's been laid out by others, or you can create your own path. The former option is the default mode in society. When you are born, your family and the would automatically project their expectation on you. Your parents probably wants you to have what they didn't have. And in my case, my parents didn't go to college and didn't have the white collar jobs, and so they really wanted that for me. But that's not all you have to deal with. There are many cultural and stoic still norms we have to comply with, and our whole lives. Children go to school and learn how to take orders, do what they are told, get punished when they misbehave, and join sport team, play with their friends, and so forth. Often the kids who don't perfectly fit into that path get bullied. This is one of the most problematic things about adult skills, and it can mess up the rest of your life. Every kid learns that being different is bad, and that as long as you fit in, you will be rewarded. And what do we do as adults? We do what we are conditional to do, fit in. But as we grow up, we see that the people who are successful and happy are usually the ones who don't follow the traditional path. The outsider matrix and odd ones are the ones who create their own path. They strived, struggled, and paid the price to do their own thing, and as a result, they are often better off. The key is that the happy people usually don't care about what others think. So many of us desperately want to be that person who's carefree and relaxed. You can be that person. Why wouldn't you be able to create your own path? I was talking to a friend the other day, and when I said I'm full-time writer, and she said, "That's so cool. I always wanted to write a novel." She works at the fancy marketing cons- consistently film now, and I asked why she never started writing. You don't have to quit your day job to trying something creative. When I start writing, I also had other work, she said. I'm afraid of what people in my field will say if they find out I wrote a novel, and or what if they read it. We often feel embarrassed just by the thought of doing something. I would meet a lot of people who couldn't stand and the thought of living a different life than what their family approved of. Just the throw alone, they didn't even take the step. Look, it would be different. If you were 18 years old and come home day and say, "Mom and Dad, I'm not going to law school as you guys want. I'm going to become a dolphin trainer in Ecuador." That would be weird, especially because there are probably no dolphins in Ecuador. The point is there has to be some benefits to being an independent adult. You are in charge. What's something you are afraid of doing? Why even be afraid of what people think instead of being afraid, which puts you in a negative state of mind? Reframe the thought to, "I'm curious to hear what others think." Here, there is nothing wrong with asking people you respect for their opinion. I do that all the time. I'm never afraid of their opinions because I don't care if people judge me as a picturesque one interested an instructor his student. You do not care if others think you are naive or stupid. Your only concern is to keep your focus on yourself so you don't damage your progress. Don't you love to directness of that quotes. You should not care. Period. Uh, decided decided to be a person like that, you can still be thoughtful and respectful. When you decided to create your own path, be prepared to receive criticism and unsolicited advice. I would do so and so. I heard that type of stuff when I started writing myself and my first book. Some people raised their eyebrows and said stuff like, "Wow, that's unusual." That's because most people think you need to be qualified to write books. The same people are now surprised. I have sold more than 100,000 books online since then, but I never tell those same people about it. What's the point? Like Epictetus said, focus on yourself. You can decide to do something different in life. If it doesn't work out, so be it. At least you are not trying to fit in. People who try hard to fit in end up frustrated. They don't know who they are because they spend their whole life listening to others. That's the that's the repeat for an identity crisis. You can avoid that fate by not caring about what others think. Just do the right thing and be a good stoic. Even if your life is not perfect, it's your life. That's worth more than anything. On sharing your joy with others. In today's disconnected and individualistic world, it's easy to forget that we are a social creators. But somehow our modern day lifestyle force people to be more individualistic. It seems like many of us are too busy to spend time building deep, caring, and solid relationship with others. To me, it's always more important to have a deep relationship than a nice house, car, vacation, etc. For what use is anything in the world without the ability to share it people with people you love? Sensa, someone who appreciated the importance of friendship, once said that there's a no enjoying the the possessions of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with. It seems like we sometimes forget then when we are too busy living, but no matter how busy we are, we should always make time to maintain our improvement and our important relationship. While it might seem like the people we know from the school and work spot and nightlife are a good company, they are often not our true friends. Real friends are the people we are most inclined to take for granted. Our own parent, our own partner, spouses, parents, siblings, and best friends. Those are the people who truly care about us, and those are also the people who will participate in your joy. Think about what you do when something good happens in your life. What do you usually do first? Probably call someone you can't wait to share it with, right? I can also, right? When I got an award at my first job, I called my mother. When I bought my first house, I called my best friend. When my father secured our first office space, he called me. When my brother's short film was accepted into a festival, he called me. When my best friend got engaged, he called me. Every one of these situations revolved around a shared feeling of joy. When you genuinely wish someone the world, you know that's a good relationship. And we don't need to have dozens of these types of relationship. If you have a few people who you know care about you and you care about them, you are good. When you have someone to share good times with, you also have someone to share the tough times with. Life isn't always joyful. Sometimes we go through bad times that hurt, but those bad times always hurts less when you have good people in your life. One good people and one good person who's there for you is enough, but you also have to be there for them, and that's the most important things. When you have someone to share good times with, you also have someone to share the tough times with, right? To be a good friend, we should never focus on what the others does. Focus on what you do. Be the friend you want to have. Decided and dedicate times and energy to people who understand. This means you don't want to give someone your time who doesn't appreciate it. When others are not emotionally invested in relationship, you can tell. Be honest about that. If others don't want to be in your life, so be it. We should never try to force any type of relationship. Just know that there are many people in the world who do care about relationship. It's much better to dedicate your time to finding those people if you don't have them already. Most of us already have a few people with whom we always were close. We just didn't maintain the relationship. We never said stuff like, I appreciate you. Look, no matter how cool or badass you are, it's good to let people know you appreciate them. That's all it takes to build relationship appreciation. Dealing with hard times, even if some obstacle comes on the sense, and its appreciance is only to be compared to that one cloud which drift in front of the sun without ever defecting its light on living through anxious time, anxious time. Before the war broke out in Ukraine, many people didn't expect it would actually happen. It reminded me a bit of early days of COVID. Most people thought it was just like the flu and wouldn't interrupt their lives. But then everything changed. The problems caused by COVID, like infections, aggregations, fear, not to mention the health problems caused by the illness itself, will linger for years. Maybe even decided, just like the Great Depression in the 1930s. The people who lived thought that time kept the scare forever. Same things with WWII for any other war. I know what is the first hand. My parents experienced war when they lived in Tehran in the 1980s. It was an 8 years war that impact every aspect your life. That type of experience will be with your forever, even when you live in a safe country, but you can't allow it to take away your passion. And for life, a great example is the investor Sam Zell, who talks about how his parents felt Poland in 1938. In his book, he mentions that his whole family, who were Jewish, were afraid of anti-Semitism, but only his father felt a real urgency to get out of Europe. His parents got on the last train out of Poland before the Nazis bombed the train tracks. Zell's family went on a 2 year journey to finally reach America, where his father became an entrepreneur. I can relate it to the story because my parents also failed because of a war, and they also started from nothing. During the initial period of war, or when a crisis is going on, you are consistently dealing with danger. Even if you are sitting at home in the safe country now, you still hear about the threat out and the threat of a nuclear war. If you don't deal with these emotions, it causes anxiety. What I would learn from people who have been through horrible times, and is that you always must be alert. You must be prepared for anything, ready to do whatever it takes, and whatever it's that's keeping calm and carrying on, like the Brits during WWII, and or fighting like the Ukrainians. We don't know what will happen in the future, or what will be called upon to do. But as Sensisa said, fortune falls heavily. Know those for whom she is unexpected. The one always on the lookout easily endures. When you're not alert, things come to you as a shock, as unexpected. That's the worst way to live. As a stoic, you want to be alert, and but not paranoid. You want to listen, analyze, think, and then act if necessary. You want to look at fact and not to live in fear. One important aspect of that is interpreting the news. Since there is so much information in the world, it can be really difficult to decide what you should pay attention to and what you should actually do. My recommendation is to stay away from a place like Twitter or forums which are filled with armchair experts who think they know everything about wars, pandemics, politics, power, and a dozen of their topics. When you listen to what others say, you are listening to their version of what's going on. You are outsourcing your thinking to others. Here's the recipe for becoming a dependable person. When you face a crisis and no one is there to help you, really on your own thinking and decision making, use the principle of stoicism is to look at what's inside your control and make us of that power. My parents were one of the few people in their families who had the courage to leave. That was the only thing inside their controls. Sam Zell talked about how almost his entry's family pressurized. They decided to ride out the war and assumed they wouldn't be fine. Life is complex and harsh. The Stoics realized that, like no one else, they encouraged us to be independent thinkers and to prepare for whatever. That's the recipe for a virtuous life. On being grateful for the little things. One of my friends said he's committed to seeing his parents more. I asked him why, and he said that he made some calculations. He said, my parents are in their 17s, and we usually see each other twice a year. My grandparents on both sides died around the age of 84. So at that rate, I would probably see my parents only 20 more times in my family. As a result of a simple calculation, he became more grateful for the moment he spent with his parents, and he tried to see them more often. In our lives, there are so many things we take for granted because we humans we have this varied trait, and we hardly ever regret the things we did. Instead, we regret the things we didn't do. When my grandmother was on her deathbed, she kept going on and on about the things she didn't do, and it wasn't crazy stuff. It was more like, I wish I appreciate my time with certain family members more. In life, there are many things we can't change. Every day we get one day closer to death, and instead of being grateful, we worry about things that are minor compared to death. One of my favorite gratitude exercise comes from Epicurus. He proposed we do the following. Whenever you face difficult situation in life, remember the prospect of death and other major triggers that can and do happen to people. You will see that compared to death, none of the things you face in life is important enough to worry about. It takes a little while to train yourself to think this way, but I guarantee it works. Compared to death, nothing we worry about to get upset about matters. My friend who calculated the times he will see his parents say he no longer gets frustrated when he talks with them. You know how things often are with family. Sometimes we get under each other's skin. We argue, we get disappointed. We maybe even call each other names. But if you make yourself aware of the fact that that is maybe the last time you are seeing the person you love, you all you will let all the minor things slide. Look, this doesn't mean everything is acceptable because hey, we are all going to die. That's too nihilistic. The Stoic used this exercise for a small things, stuff that's just not worth getting upset about. Upset about. They knew damn well that we risk wasting our time and energy on those ins- um, insignificant things. Instead, enjoy the valuable things. For example, the fact the fact that you are alive at this very moment and you are here. You don't even need to see a beautiful sunset or walk through the rain or any other cheesy things to be grateful for life. Uh, I bet any person who's on their deathbed would give everything up to have a few extra days of life. Just being alive is the biggest thing one can be grateful for on the ups and downs of life. I love this quote from Marcus about the nature of life. The world's cycle never change, up and down from age to age. Let's be honest. Do you expect the life should always be good? You do, right? You do, right? Yes, I do, right. I think most of us grow up that way. We think that life should gradually improve. We hear stories about how the economy and the world have been improving gradually every year for the past decade, and we think that's the normal trajectory for everything in life. Things go up like a linear relation in algebra. If x goes up and y will also go up, we assume that if we get older, we shouldn't automatically get everything together. Then we actually grow older and figure out that no one's know what they are doing. There is no linear relationship between age and wisdom or age and wealth. If that we are true, every person beyond a certain age would be a rich genius. The truth is that life doesn't go up all the time we are alive. We also experience down from time to time. Sometimes those downs can take a few days, sometimes months, and if you are unlucky, maybe even years. A lot of people talk about how bad 2020 was for them just because they had to work from home and couldn't go on vacations. One of my friends had a really shitty 2020. In January of that year, he tore his ACL in a cycling accident, and he got surgery in February. When he was recovering the coronavirus pandemic broke out and he couldn't go to physiotherapy, which harmed his recovery. He had he had to walk on cruise ships before his surgery and for weeks after. Then around the summertime, he got a COVID, which took him out for nearly 3 weeks. After the summer, he felt better and started doing chores at the house. The poor guy threw his back out and couldn't do anything else but lie in bed for 2 weeks. He also has young kids, so his wife had to take care of them and him of all the weeks he was out. Almost a year, he is doing well and has pretty much fully recovered. But it took years and a half to feel close to what he felt before his new injury. Last week, he got COVID again. This is a stuff we can't control. As a as Marcus Aurelius said, whatever its atoms or natural nature, the first thing to be said is this: I am a part of a wood controlled by nature. Secondly, that I have a relationship with other similar apart, and with that is mind, I have no right as a apart and to complain about what is assigned me by the world. While I do believe we have a lot of personal freedom and can decide it to pursue our own path, we also must recognize There are a lot of things we can't influence. Sometimes we tend to think we are the true master of our destiny. We assume that life is like a movie and we are the writer, director, and actors. That's a not realistic view of life. In reality, we are only the actor and we are given a role that we need to play. The Stoic believe we need to play that role to the best of our ability. That doesn't mean you need to fit in. No, you can still give the role your own twist. Look at it. Look at it this way. In the past few decides, several different actors have played the role of Joker in Batman movies, from Jake Nichols and to Jared Leto. My all-time favorite depiction of the Joker is by the late Heath Ledger, and in the Dark Knight. No one has played is so well than him, and no one other than Heath Ledger could have played that role in that specific way. In life, we do the same. We decide how we play our roles. We have the power of shape our outlook on life. We all have our unique styles and personalities. We just don't have the power of change most things about life. While that might sound limitly, it's actually liberating when you think about it more deeply. You don't have to waste so much energy getting energy about why life is the way it is. When things are good, simply enjoy. When things are bad, go throughout it. That's cyclicality to life that should always give you enough perspective that a good time will follow and bad times. Yes, so both on getting unstuck. Sometimes one little negative thing can set you on this whole downward spiral. Last week I was talking to my friend Dave about what it feels like to be stuck. Dave was saying that he got a cold and a few months ago, which made him stop working out and eating healthy, which made him feel worse than his sleep and started suffering from that, which made it tired and unfocused during the day, which ultimately impact his work. Haven't we all experienced something like this? No event can cause a ripple that latest for months. The key is to break the downward spiral, because if you don't, you will start hating your life for no good reason. That's what happened recently to another friend I caught up with. He mentioned how the same things happened to him, but he remained in the negative mindset. After a while, I started disliking my job for no reason. I just didn't like anything, and at home, I started having more fights with my wife. We often are not aware of what causes our frustration. We think that the solution of our unhappiness is to change the things that seems most immediately to be causing it. You might think that your job is making you unhappy, so you look for another one, but all the while the problem wasn't your job. It was how you felt. When everything seems to be an melancholic in your life and you are just not excited about anything, try to following create a new meaningful goal. And when you stay in your own head, simmering in your own thoughts, the last thing you want to do is focus more on yourself. Start to focus on something outward. Look at something outside yourself, ideally as something that impact others. My friend Dave is an entrepreneur, and he talked about how he decided to do a complete redesign of one of his main products. He received feedback from people who he respected, and that gave him the inspiration to make a few changes so his customers would get a better experience. Every time I stuck or don't have energy, I come up with new things to work on. Become I only focus on the things that really fire me up, things that are important. When you work on something that's important to you, you feel that your day is having meaning. When you just wander through life without a clear purpose, you feel like you are wasting your time. As Sansesa once said, you want to make use of every day you are alive. Let no one rob me of a single day who is not going to make me an adequate returns for such a loss. To make sure no one can rob a day from you, do something meaningful every day. I can tell you from personal experience that nothing else motivates you like having a purpose. When you do things that are meaningful, you never feel like you waste time. But when you feel like every day is the same and you are not making any types of progress, you quickly get agitated. When that happens, take it as a sign to make a change. But it doesn't have to be a giant lifestyle. Change your mindset first. If other things require change, then so be it. At least you have a starting from the right place outside yourself. How can you do something that's useful to others? Ask yourself that question every time you are stuck, and you will never be in the in that position for long. Good things come when we look to make an impact on becoming unstoppable. What do you do when you don't get something you really want? I'm talking about both small things and big things. I used to get discouraged every time I experienced some sort of pushback or friction. When I was in college, I would often get frustrated when we had to do group assignments and once of the group members didn't show up. For some classes, you couldn't choose who you would team up with. The professors would the professors would put people together randomly. As far as I can remember, there was always one odd person in the group, someone who wouldn't keep their word, accept in it, and just do the work for the slackers. I did that as well, but here's the problem. The way you treat small problems become how you treat big ones. This is something I learned from the Stoic. They were steadfast people who look pride in being unstoppable. If they decided to do something, anything, they committed to doing it well. Epictetus said it best. When you decided to do something you believe to be right, don't let others stop you. And even if a majority of people disapproved of it, if it is a wrong thing to do, you should not to do it in the first place. But if it is the right thing, then why care about what others think? The right thing to do when someone is slaying is to confront them all them and tell them they are not holding up their end of their brilliance. You can always offer people a chance to change, but at some point we must draw the line. This applies beyond class projects of course into our professional and everyday lives. Here's another small example. When I was in Spain a few weeks ago, I rented a car for Skits, a German rental company. I paid for the car in advance, and they took $300 deposit. When I handed in the car, they didn't give me back the deposit. They said I should receive it back automatically and in a few days. When that didn't happen, I contacted them, but their customer service was really bad. I called them and the person said he couldn't help. So I aimed them. A week went by, no response. I said to myself, I am getting my deposit back, no matter what. I found email address from their office in the Netherlands and Germany. I emailed them and finally got a response from their Dutch office. Okay, well, take care of this. You will get your deposit back. I confirmed my bank account with them and wait to get my money back. A few days go by, no response. I emailed their office again and I emailed them every single single day for 5 days. I said to myself, I will not stop until I get my money back. That day I got my money back. I am talking about small example because it's easy to say, oh, it's just a small things. I'll let it slide. No, it's not. It's about how you respond to things in life. If you know you are doing the right things, don't let anyone stop you. This is an important lesson about life. It's the same things with working out. One of my favorite commenters is Skip Bayless, the host of Undisciplined. He's 17-year old, and he's on TV every day for his 2.5 hours show to stay in shape. He works out every day, and his motto is never miss. He learned that when you miss one day, you are more inclined to miss another and then other. Same thing with how you act. If you let one little thing slip, you all let more things slip. Before you know it, you let everything slip. Now this mindset is great for dealing with challenges or at work. It's not it's not appropriated for relationship or when it comes to mental health. Of course, you don't want to be unforgiving and exciting in your personal life. That's the recipe for becoming an annoying person. But chances are you want to become unstoppable outside at the home. That's something I learned from my mom. She always said, at home, be nice to everyone. Outside of the house, kick everyone's ass. Thank you.